My name is Charlotte Gurney. I am 20 years old. I am in VCC taking their pastry program. I've also taken their sign language program as well, so I'm partly bilingual in sign language. I'm the eldest of my family. I have a sister, a mom, and a dad. Autism is not a contagious disease or anything that you can contract, basically. You are born with it, and it is a part of you, and you have to learn how to deal with it and what your strengths and weaknesses are from it. A myth about autism is that you can contract it through vaccination. I personally don't believe that, but other people may believe it, but in my personal opinion, you can't contract it at all. I was diagnosed with autism when I was in grade 7. When I found out I had autism, I was actually really relieved because I actually found out, oh, that explains certain behaviors and why I react to certain things and why I have strengths and weaknesses in certain areas more so than other people. And now that I know that that's the point of what happened, I know what I need to work on, and I know what I need to improve on, and where I need to make sure that I keep an eye out on it. And I was also, of course, like anyone who actually finds out that they have something different about them, I was a little nervous, but I was more relieved than anything. School was very difficult, socially and academically for me, because the function of my autism is that I am not very good at reading body language, and also with autism I have a language disability, a learning disability, and a reading disability. So put that all together with autism, school life is pretty hectic and really hard. I don't know, really. Everything about it was hard. The learning part of it, the reading part, and most of all the socialization. I got bullied really badly because I didn't read body language properly. I couldn't tell when someone was making fun of me or when they were picking on me or anything. It was really hard for me to decipher that until I got way older. The one thing I did like the most about school was the creative classes, like music and art and stuff, because my part of my autism is that my creativity part of my brain is like escalated higher than a normal person, so I can think outside the box. I have a really big imagination, so I'm really good at like English, and I'm really good at art and singing and just crafts in general. I'm really good at. So those were my favorite parts of school. I didn't have the best experience with peers or teachers growing up, unfortunately, but when I transferred schools, it got a lot better because I got to go to a school that actually knew what they were doing with the autism department. So when I got transferred there, they actually listened to me and they asked me questions about what would work for me, and they actually incorporated that into my learning system, which really helped me understand what I was supposed to do and understand and get through class a lot easier. The best advice I can give for a teacher or a classmate in classroom is to don't treat them any differently you would anyone else. They're just the same as any other person, they just function a little differently depending on where they are on the scale, but you have to just understand that and then work with it. Figure out what they're really good at, what their high peaks are, what they're comfortable with, and then incorporate that into their learning system. Like if they learn better from listening, get them audio versions of stuff or audio books if it's English that if they're struggling in with the most, because that's what they did with me. I don't have a very good reading. I'm not very good at reading that much, so what they did, they got audiobooks of the books they needed to read in English, and I just listened to the chapters, and I was ahead of the class because of it. And If they're good at like writing out stuff, let them write it out. Let them explore what they would be good at and how they would learn in a better way. I have a challenge reading body language a lot, like I said, so it's still a work in progress as well. I still need to pick up on social cues, on when to say something and all that stuff, but it is a work in progress. But at least I know that that's something I need to work on, and I'm aware of it so I can improve on it as time goes on. I am very creative, so I can make anything pretty much with my hands. Like knitting, cross-stitching, sculpting and stuff like that. That's why pastries is so good for me, because I work with fondant, so I can make a bunch of sculptures and stuff out of that with my hands. I'm also got a very wide range of memory when it comes to sound and pictures. I can remember every musical tune I've heard ever since I was 7 years old. And it's like locked in my brain somewhere. And whenever I hear it, I'm like, repeat it, and I don't even know that I'm doing it, which is pretty cool. Same thing with a movie. If I've seen a movie twice, I can repeat line by line back to you, which kind of freaks my parents out, and my sister mostly. But yeah, like, that's my strength with my brain. I'm really good with sound, and I'm really good with pictures. My plans for the future are to be fully lingual in sign language, so I can communicate with just my hands and stuff, which would be really cool. I would like to work in the pastry department, like figure out, I'm not quite sure what kind of department, like where in that pastry world I fit in, but I'm thinking maybe head decorator somewhere. That'd be nice. Making wedding cakes all day would be lots of fun. And just living life to the fullest, having fun, and being like any other person. The thing I find the most awesome about autism is actually two things. One, each person that is affected by autism is affected differently, so they excel in different ways, like creatively, mathematically, science, or reading, or different ways. And I find that totally interesting, that one person can be so bad at reading, but the other one can like read a book in like 5 minutes. It's so incredible. I even know one autistic guy who's got the whole world of the map in his head, and he can, like, if you say one place, he can name the main continent and all the rivers around it and everything. It's really impressive. The other thing I find amazing about autism is that autism is another word for amazing. That's my motto.